Hey guys, so here, and today I'm doing part 3 to What If Asta Was the Reincarnation of Sasuke Uchiha? So really, let's just get straight into this. Chapter 4, The Black Balls. The sky was illuminated by orange flares. There were no clouds in the sky. The only thing you could see were the twinkling stars. Below, a forest with half blown up and lonely tree stumps. It was a common sight, and a fire illuminated the background. Two boys stood. Asta had his shotgun gun activated, waiting. A boy with purple hat and black streaks stood opposite Asta. Flame shaped as a bat was in his hand, but surprisingly, it wasn't burning him. Lay across his shoulders was a robe with the symbol of a bull on it. "Ready for your baptism by fire?" the boy said, going into a readied stance. "Ready," Asta said, in no particular stance himself. The boy put his hand into his grimoire as a ball of fire emerged in the palm of his hand. He placed it into the air and then used his bat to send it flying at Asta. After that, more and more balls were sent at Asta. Asta swayed around them like it was nothing. To the people surrounding them, it looked like he was in a light dance. The boy in front of him was shocked at the display. He coughed when his barrage ended. "Well, that's just the start. Now deal with this." The boy threw back his arm as a massive fireball emerged in his hand. Rain began to trickle down as the clouds began to form above them. The ball was flung at Asta. It was twice the size of Asta, maybe even bigger than that. Only in Asta's mind had Sasuke produced something so big. He looked at the thing that would most likely be the instrument of his death. His legs froze in place. He didn't know if they were frozen due to fear or the will to fight, but it wouldn't help him. He didn't have any time to weave hand signs, so he banked on a risky move. It could potentially take longer than a jutsu. He didn't know, but all he could do was try. The book on his waist illuminated to life. A deathly aura flashed around it before it rushed in front of him. He plunged his hands into the book as if it was a portal. A sword larger than him was almost ripped out of the pages of the book. He uses all his strength. The ball of fire was only centimeters away. The obsidian-colored sword was slammed into the ball of fire, which was closing in on Asta. Asta's feet were broke through the concrete of the ground, and a thought forced its way through the catacombs of his mind. Sasuke had taught him the benefits of channeling chakra into different parts of the body to increase their strength, but so far, he hadn't needed to use it. Asta tried to focus on manipulating his chakra. He had to do this over the screaming of his muscles, the anguish of his thoughts of death. He felt the power course through his limbs. "How are you doing back there?" Magna laughed in front of him. His exploding fireball always took these newbies out. He was impressed, though no one else had been able to hold it back for a couple of seconds. "Just fine," Asta screamed at the top of his lungs as he forced the fireball to be sent cascading back in Magna's direction. Asta fell to the ground, panting as he felt his strength recede and his muscles scream again, which was almost unbearable. He heard applause come from the crowd behind. Asta looked forward to see a storm of smoke. Suddenly, a boy emerged. His hair was a mess and his glasses were cracked. "You," he began storming towards Asta. "You not only managed to survive and pass, but also deflected my spell and almost offed me with my own spell. You." The boy practically shouted and grabbed Asta's collar. Asta didn't have the mental capacity to fight back, and doubted the boy would kill him or seriously injure him. Magna growled, "Your magic's amazing." The boy finished his sentence and let Asta go. Asta's eyes widened at the cheery end of the boy's sentence. Thanks, sir, Asta croaked out a smile. This had definitely confirmed his choice. He knew he had made the right decision to join. Wow, you're real strong. Our battle's gonna be great, a boy with blonde hair and a blue gown said, bouncing up and down. Good job, kid, Yami said as he grabbed the collar of Asta's shirt as he threw him back into the ancient-looking medieval building. Asta screamed as he soared through the air, the knowledge of knowing he had officially passed comforting him. One day later, it's a man's duty to follow the leader's orders to a T, Magna said, as he and Asta walked. The corridor was covered in cobwebs as little insects crawled past. The light of the sun lightly illuminated the area, making the cracks in the wall even more visible, if that was even possible. Yes, sir, Asta said, hanging off each and every word which was spoken, absorbing it like a sponge. Asta stared at the boy as he suddenly fell backwards. He looked upward, seeing an unfamiliar face, which was strange, as it wasn't hard to remember people around here. He saw a girl with sparkling pink eyes, vapor white hair, which had been moulded into pigtails. She stood in front of him with a glare plastered to her face. She flicked back at her. Asta dusted himself off as he was cut off. Stay away from me, little insect. The girl said, as if he was a pest. Asta looked at her. He understood something in that moment. He could tell she was a noble. He didn't particularly dislike nobles, but most were like this. He didn't say a word. He didn't need to. He glared back at her, and awe surrounded him. The girl internally trembled, but her pride forced her to continue. Don't dare look at me like that, peasant. I'm of royalty, she said. Don't you? I don't care if you're royalty or not. Never look down on me without the strength to back it up, he managed to say. He didn't shout, but to her, he might as well. It would have felt better. Her grimoire sparkled an oceanic blue as it rose. Don't talk to me like that, she screamed as water was produced from her hands. It slowly formed into the shape of a ball and shot at Asta. He moved hand signs. Fireball jutsu, he whispered, as he arched his back forward and spewed fire straight from his mouth. The two clashed. Droplets of water and sparks of fire flew in the air. The fire engulfed the water. It headed straight towards the royal. It was centimetres away from Noel's face when it dissipated. Nice attack, Asta said in a hidden shock. He walked off and left the girl sweating and trembling, along with a very much confused Magna. Well, that is the end of part 3 to Wife Asta with the reincarnation of Sasuke. I know this series has been moving a little slower than I would have liked it. It's definitely going a little faster than my other series. The next episode we're getting into the first arc, maybe a little bit into the second as well. So, hopefully you look forward to that one. But, yeah. Super sorry about not posting for a while. Lost my motivation for a bit. And once I got back, I've had some problems. I want to talk about them here. But this video, whenever it comes out, was meant to come out like a day earlier. But then things ended up delaying it. But, yeah, anyways, bye.